Update. Am I the a-hole for not telling my coworker my brother was dead and catching her in a terrible lie? Original post. I, 22 female, am a triplet with 2 brothers, but one of my brothers passed away when we were 14. Whenever anyone new asks if I have any siblings, I just say I'm a triplet with 2 brothers. I'm not trying to trauma dump when doing small talk with someone I'm not very close to. From talking to people in grief support, I thought this was relatively common. I started working at a new job 3 months ago. I like my coworkers, but still feel like an outsider to them. So when they ask how many siblings I have, I gave the above answer. No problems there. One week I didn't have my car, so my other triplet brother picked me up every day. My coworker Kate saw him and thought he was cute, and asked me to set them up. I said no, because he has a girlfriend. She asked about my other brother, and I just said he isn't available either. Not a lie, but I guess kind of a mission, because he's deceased and not just in a relationship. A few weeks later, I hear Kate talking crap about me to the other coworkers our age when I'm in the same lunchroom. She didn't believe that my other brother wasn't available because she saw that he's single on Insta. I have no clue what she's talking about because I never had an account. My best guess is that she assumed one of my male cousins who shares our last name and is in pics with me and my brother was actually the 3rd triplet. Who knows? I never engaged with the whispers because I hate confrontation. A day after that, some of my coworkers come up to me and ask what's wrong with me. I was super confused. Then they told me that my brother had SA allegations against him in college. And the real reason I didn't set him up with Kate is because I knew he was dangerous, but still supported him. Apparently, Kate said she found all this out from someone who also went to my college. I'm still in the same town. I was shocked and just told them that was impossible because my brother died when he was 14. They didn't believe me and then called Kate over and all 3 of them called me a liar. I showed them pictures of the funeral, pictures of us at his grave, my brother and I holding his picture at our graduations. Then they all piled on me, called me a liar for not saying my brother was dead. But Kate made up a horrific allegation for no reason? They're all icing me out and whispers are going around the office. I don't know what they are saying, but no one seems to understand my side. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I talked about my brother the way I always have. The girls made me feel like I was such a horrible person and a liar who can't be trusted, and I don't understand. My family is all on my side, but they're all fiercely protective of me, and especially my deceased brother's memories, so it's biased. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. Kate is pure scum. If you believe in ghosts, maybe your late brother will come down and hunt her for defaming him and making you so miserable. Go to your manager, explain the situation, and let her know what she said about your late brother. That's defamation. What kind of person spreads such vicious lies? And what happens if your brother had still been around, and she told everybody that he had assaulted somebody? There is a special place in hell for people like her. What kind of person looks at photos of kids at a funeral and calls the person a liar? This practice is unhinged, and the manager needs to crack down immediately. I would make a complaint with your manager/HR about Kate making false rumors about your family and forcing you to discuss your grief. Freaking hell, even if he wasn't deceased, may he rest in peace, I'd not want Kate anywhere near me/my family. It's completely up to you and your story to explain, but maybe next time you could word it different to he's not available. But she definitely crazy. Thank you for that. I work at a small private medical clinic, so we don't have any formal HR. But I'm hoping our admin manager will suffice. I'll see if I can think of any alternate wording that I could use if the question comes up again. Complain about the others as well. Drop the phrase hostile work environment if you have to. As an HR professional, magic words right there. Throw in a don't feel safe and then send an update. Now for the update. My one and only update. Skip the next 3 paragraphs if you only want the update. I just want to address the way I talk about my brother since there are so many mixed opinions. I can never ever talk about my brother like he never existed. To me, that's so disrespectful to his memory. I think you won't understand unless you're in these shoes. If you are and speak about your loved one differently, that's fine. My brothers and I did everything together. We were born and raised as a set of 3. We wore matching outfits and went to the same schools. We immigrated to the US together. We celebrated every birthday and major milestone together. When he died, a part of me died too. I haven't enjoyed my birthday since because instead of being happy I'm older, I just think about how he can't celebrate his own day. No life circumstances changed the fact we were born as triplets. I could never say I have only one brother because to me that's not true. My other brother and parents speak the same way. A lot of people in my grief support group do too. No one has ever gotten upset at me and have been very understanding about it. However, people have been weird when I used to say he was dead up front soon after his death, which is why I switched in the first place. Which is why I was so stunned Kate blew up at me. But I think I might consider being more blunt. I guess someone's gonna be mad or weird about it no matter how I say. Now for the update. So I was too chicken to talk in person to my administration manager right away after this post and all of the help. I emailed her when I left for work Monday, and she was still there for another 2 hours and asked to talk in person today before clinic started. Work was definitely weird, but I just avoided Kate and those girls, and got help from other staff when needed. I talked early today to my manager after she read my email, and she was horrified. Apologized to me again and again and told me all three would be dealt with. But seems like she was most angry at Kate. She didn't guarantee exactly anything would happen because she still has to do an investigation and get everyone's sides. But I think they will definitely be punished some way. I don't know if that's getting fired or suspension or just scolded. But that made me happier. I think I should clarify my coworkers other than those three. Haven't been icing me out, just whispering because they know something happened between us. But I like them and they're very nice to me. I didn't talk to them about it since I took it up higher, but I hope they understand me. I'm not sure if I'm staying at this office. Depends on what happens to the three girls in the next weeks. But I probably won't update again. I know a lot of people wanted me to take legal action, but I really don't want to rock the boat too much. I'm applying to medical school right now and hope to start in fall 2025. So I just want this behind me fast and not have any court stuff on my record for now. If it gets too bad, I'd rather just leave and enjoy my last year of freedom. That's pretty much all that happened. I wanted to thank you all so much for all of the kind words these past days. I was going through confusion, and your comments made me angrier towards Kate and made me take action. You are so sweet and helped me through a tough time. I think I'll be okay. Kate made up false assault allegations because she couldn't bang your brother who she didn't know anything about. What a freaking psycho. Dude, Kate is deranged. I'm so very sorry this happened to you, and I get the not mentioning your brother died in casual conversations. I'm glad your boss is taking this seriously. If Kate was my employee, I'd fire her if it was feasible, legally, procedure compliant, etc. It speaks to a mind I do not trust to make sound decisions, and I don't micromanage, so F that. Messy colleagues always suck. Keep your workspace and mouth from being gross, Kate. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not making him food after his work wife kept making him food? Me, female 27, and my husband, male 34, have been married for 3 years, but we're dating 4 years prior. He recently got a promotion in his company and moved to a different department. In this department, he recently started interacting with female 24. I disliked her and have from the start. Every time I'm there, she makes sure to call him her work husband, or she will do simple things such as making him food or giving him extra tight hugs. But my breaking point was last week when he had come home with the food I made him. When I asked him why his lunch bag was still full of what I had made him in the morning, he said that female 24 had made him food, and he didn't want to seem rude and waste it. So I ignored it, till he threw away the food I made him. I woke up at 6 a.m. just to make him his favorite food. But ever since then, this has been happening every day. It started to get annoying. Till today, I decided to not make him lunch. He came downstairs in the morning to me making breakfast and asked me where his lunch was. I said I didn't make him one because it was going to go to waste anyways. He started arguing that I was being petty over a little thing. But I tried to discuss how I felt and he went over it. So am I the a-hole for not making him food? Now for the comments before the mini update. Your husband is an idiot. He's absorbing the attention from a young female coworker and snubbing his wife. You are a rarity in today's world. My wife has prepared my lunches for the past 26 years, not out of duty or coercion, but out of love. I would be damned if I would worry about another person's feelings, let alone a female at the sacrifice of my wife. It's not about the food, it's a labor of love. I hope for both of your sakes he gets his head out of his behind before it's too late. This isn't just about food. This is about work wife. Her hugging him, her making him lunch and bringing it for him from her home. She's trying to seduce him and is allowing it. Totally agree with this. Coworker is seducing him. Tell it to him if he is oblivious to it and make your unhappiness known. He's going to affair territory. Not a-hole. The food isn't the issue here, clearly. There are so many Reddit stories that started with a work wife providing OP's ex-husband with food. There was even one where the work wife told the pregnant wife that the husband liked her cooking better, so she'd better watch out or she'd be taking her husband. That wife ended up having to co-parent with her ex-husband and work wife he ended up marrying. I think in plain words, you need to tell your husband that you don't want him interacting with her at all unless it's required for business, and only as minimum as necessary. Her behavior from consistently cooking for him to calling him her work husband and giving him tight hugs are extremely inappropriate. He should not be more worried about hurting a coworker's feelings than disrespecting his marriage. He didn't want to hurt her feelings by not eating her food, but he has no issue with throwing his own wife's food away in front of you? His coworker's behavior is a direct threat to his marriage, and it is his responsibility to set and enforce the boundaries to protect said marriage. Your husband is an idiot and opening himself up to complaints if he has any sort of seniority and makes preferential decisions regarding his friend. It doesn't take much effort for those around them to extrapolate extra tight hugs into their having an affair via office gossip. He shouldn't be allowing her to hug him, full stop, and he needs to tell her to not make him food. They're definitely going to be the talk of the department. I'd bet they already are. Mini update. Me and him are going to talk when he gets back home. But I did talk to him a little bit before he went to the shower. He just got mad when I asked if I could see his text between her, which ended in him getting defensive and saying that if I trust him, I wouldn't need to. I may bring up the option of divorce, but I need to figure out the financial situation first. I have a job, but it barely even pays. But until then, I must start packing up my stuff little by little, talking to a divorce attorney and figuring out where to go from there. But I won't till me and him have a talk. But thank you to everyone who has let me open up on this a little bit. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my coworker I can't attend her funeral because I'm busy that day? So here's the situation. I have this coworker. Let's call her Karen. Karen is a character. She's always talking about these elaborate plans for every possible scenario. Last week, she told us she had pre-planned her entire funeral, complete with a guest list, catering, and even a DJ. Apparently, she wants her final send-off to be a lit celebration of life. Anyway, out of the blue yesterday, Karen walks up to me during lunch and says, "Hey, just so you know, I've penciled you in for my funeral next Saturday at 2 p.m. It's going to be fabulous, and I'd really appreciate your attendance." Now here's the thing. I'm alive and kicking, so the idea of attending a funeral for someone who's very much alive just felt weird. Plus, I already have plans next Saturday to binge watch an entire season of Stranger Things and eat my weight in pizza. So without really thinking, I just blurted out, "Sorry Karen, I can't make it. I'm busy that day." She looked at me like I just slapped her with a cold fish. "Busy?" she asked, her voice dripping with disbelief. "You can't be too busy for a friend's funeral." Now, Karen has been giving me the cold shoulder ever since, and our other coworkers are split. Some think I'm a heartless jerk for not going along with her bizarre funeral dress rehearsal, while others think she's completely off her rocker for expecting people to actually attend this thing. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for telling my very much alive coworker I can't attend her self-planned, preemptive funeral because I'm busy watching Netflix? Edit. For those asking about her well-being, she's fine. I've overheard somebody asking her and she replied that it's just a celebration of life. So yes, it seems to be a narcissistic event. Not a-hole. Asking people to attend a funeral when you're alive, and while it is not completely ludicrous, but also could be upsetting for people who have actually lost someone, especially recently, since she's kind of making a joke out of funerals. I agree with the people that think she's off her rocker. Right? I find it really upsetting. I just lost an old friend who didn't even make it to her living funeral/celebration of life. We were planning to give it to her the opportunity to see the people she wanted to see all at once, giving her precious time travel with her partner before entering hospice. But the pain came so quickly, the meds just swallowed her up, and the person we knew never resurfaced. She died 10 months after her initial pancreatic cancer diagnosis, about a week before her birthday and her celebration. She was an amazing human being, a relentless force of equity, education, and social justice. It's maddeningly unfair that she's gone, and I'm still heartbroken that I didn't get to say goodbye to her. Having a living funeral is a sacred thing, a rare and incredible opportunity. And though I wish it was more common to have celebrations for our elderly while they're here, for our friends and loved ones going round after round with leukemia, I don't think it should be trivialized by someone who is healthy, young, and able-bodied. This whole scenario makes me really angry, the more I think about it actually. Let's call it what it really is. It's a party for a narcissist. You have no obligation to attend and shouldn't feel pressured by anyone into doing something you don't want to do. I always hold the opinion that work colleagues are just that, colleagues. They're not friends, and I don't socialize with them. If you feel pressured/harassed on this issue, I suggest you speak to your boss or the HR dept. Well, I mean, it's just a weird situation. There are a few other people that are fond of this woman and will do these kinds of things for her. I couldn't care less, and I refuse to entertain that kind of behavior. But of course, I work there and I don't want to make enemies or be on bad terms with anybody. It's a weird one. I didn't expect anybody to think it's okay to put people on these kinds of situations, to be honest. If you're not being paid to attend his party, you have absolutely no obligation to go. It's very weird behavior. I know, of course. It's just the way she handled the whole thing made me feel like I was doing something wrong. Imagine being paid for that. It would even be more weird. Funeral rehearsal. Does it include burial or cremation? Just curious. Oh, and not a-hole. I would go all in on believing that she is gleefully going to end it all before the party and give her the number of a helpline, then be horrified when she advises that she's just doing this highly inappropriate thing for fun. Or turn up and scream in horror that she escaped the casket and must be a zombie. Call a newspaper and tip them off that the sick faux funeral is taking place and she may become a laughingstock. Update. Am I the a-hole for me, 22 female, unplugging the internet when my boyfriend, 23 male, was playing a game? Original story. I'd cooked a dinner for my boyfriend and I had called him several times. He didn't respond, so I was like, what the hell? And went to find him and bring his dinner to him. He was playing Call of Duty or Halo and said he didn't hear me. I was like, alright, here is your dinner. And then I handed it to him and he just looked at it and said, I didn't want mac and cheese, I said chicken nuggets and fries. I said, sorry, but if you had listened when I got back, you would have heard that the store was all out of nuggets. He then threw the plates with the food on it in a set of drawers. I said, seriously? What is wrong with you? And he just said he was annoyed because I just made him die in the game by distracting him. And he was already mad about having mac and cheese. I said, if that's gonna make you angry, you shouldn't be playing while eating. He just said whatever and carried on playing, so I went downstairs and turned the router off while I ate. He came storming down asking what the hell I had done. I said if you can listen to me, you shouldn't be playing games when I'm trying to do stuff. He said I can't turn the internet off because it pays for it, so I said he just wasted food. He says I should have told him they were out of nuggets, and waited for him to be done on the game instead of turning it off. I think he's being unreasonable, especially after he threw the plate. But his mom and my mom are siding with him. They say shouldn't have turned the internet off, and I am thinking they're completely missing the point. So was I wrong to do that, or should I have done something different? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Everyone sucks here. Your son is being pretty immature and volatile, but as his mother, you're responsible for responding calmly and in a mature fashion so that he learns better behaviors. I don't know. I'd react more strongly than this to my 6-year-old son if he threw a plate of food I had made into the furniture. Obi just taking his toy away was pretty calm. Not today, Hole. Leave. Leave now. This is not going to get better. The fact that his mother and your mother are siding with him shows that he has been raised to believe this is acceptable behavior. He is disrespectful and rude. He places his game playing above real life. He has anger issues. He eats like a toddler. If you stay and end up having children with him, you will be struggling the whole time to get him away from the screen and helping you. You will expose your children to him blowing up at them for interrupting his games. Apologize and tell him he can game all weekend and you won't interrupt him at all. He'll be so busy he won't hear you as you pack your things into your car. Might not even notice you're gone till it's time for a diaper change. Dump him. He's throwing things. He's screaming. He's tattling on you to mommies. He's immature and he sounds utterly miserable to live with. I get him maybe being snappish for a second because he was focusing. But throwing things is never okay. It's a sign of someone who doesn't have their anger in check and frequently escalates into violence. A very soft everyone sucks here because you retaliated like that with a service that isn't yours. Don't provoke him. Just dump him. Everyone sucks here. You eat like 5-year-olds. You fight like siblings. And then you run off and tell your respective moms? Grow up. He told our moms first. They both messaged me and asked why I did it, so I tried to explain and they were taking a side. Now for the update. Thank you to everyone that helped me see that what he did was really not right. I had wondered why my mom and his would side with him too. And after speaking with my mom, I found out he had been bad-mouthing me before this and had told her a different story to what really happened. He told her he had been at work all day and got home, and I was instantly aggressive and turned the internet off and said no games or food. I don't know why she would believe that, but whatever. He had been playing the game for 8 hours straight that day up to that point. Anyway, I left him and moved back with my mom. For now, I am in the process of moving all my belongings, but I have the most important stuff. He has been texting me, begging me to come back because he misses me, also because he can't cook. I saw McDonald's wrappers all over the floor when I went to get some of my clothes. He also posted a video to Facebook of his crying saying I took everything, and I am a witch. His mom is still siding with him, and she has been harassing me in messages for mistreating her son. She says how dare I leave him. First, she tried to guilt trip me by saying how will he clean and cook by himself. And when that didn't work, she started threatening and sending abusive messages. I feel much better though. I didn't realize how much of a strain he had put upon me. So once again, thank you to everyone that helped me out. If you are so horrible and terrible to her baby boy, why is she mad that you left him? Other than the fact that I guess now she'll have to take care of him? Block him and his mother. Yeah, absolutely. I would text her, if I'm so terrible for your son, why are both of you hounding me to come back? And then block her. Edited to add, I think you would have gotten fewer everyone sucks here's if you had said in the original post that he had been gaming for 8 hours straight. There seemed to be a lot of gamers trying to explain how rude/useless it is to distract people while they are gaming, but how long is someone supposed to wait to interact with a partner? Those are immature gamers. As a gamer and the wife of a gamer, those are BS excuses. It doesn't matter how long he was gaming, but those people would not have cared about that detail. Can't imagine what it would be like to wake up in your 50s and have your teenage children come across a video you made in your 20s, crying that your girlfriend left you because you can't cook or clean for yourself. At the rate it's going, it's doubtful he'll find a girl desperate enough to have kids with him, so that's not likely to happen. Just a suggestion, don't go over to get your stuff alone. He doesn't exactly seem stable. Thanks. You're right, I didn't think about the dangers of that. If you don't have a big, bulky male football-playing friend, or two, you can call the police non-emergency line for an escort. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for firing the wedding planner after she kept ignoring me and only talked to my fiancé and her mom? I'm sorry if this is hard to read. I had a couple of drinks and not in my best state. So my fiancé, female 26, and I, male 28, are getting married soon. We both wanted a nice wedding, but had different ideas but not too much money. My mother-in-law said she has a great wedding planner for us, who's a friend of hers, and we went to see her a few times. Last week, she, my fiancé, her mom, and I began discussing venue/rentals/menu/invitations, etc., etc. The wedding planner kept talking to my fiancé and her mom, and all questions/suggestions were directed at them both while I was sitting there being ignored. They talked venue and guest lists, and the wedding planner did not stop to consult me or ask for my opinion.
I disagreed on a number of things, but I was either interrupted or ignored by the lady. I finally snapped, stood up, and told her thank you, but I disagree on everything they agreed on, and told her to cancel all arrangement. My fiancé and her mom asked what's wrong with me. I told them I felt like I was being put aside and left out of any decisions/arrangements despite being the groom and the one paying. My mother-in-law warned me not to turn into a groomzilla and ruined progress they made just because he wasn't included in a thing or two. I flat out said to hell with it, and that will no longer be working with her. I will hire another wedding planner who can treat me like my opinion matters. In other words, I fired her. Both mother-in-law and my fiancé kept arguing in the car on our way home. And my fiancé said good job doing to her what the planner did to me by disregarding her opinions and sending her to square one in wedding planning and costing them money. Mother-in-law was livid that I treated her friend like dirt. I argued back that lady could have included me in at least one or two arrangements, but didn't. We got at my in-laws' house, and my brother-in-law and father-in-law laughed at me for sulking like a kid and witching about stuff that only brides care about. Brother-in-law said he never dreamed of trying to do the childish crap I pulled when he was getting married, called me soft, and told me I should have kept my mouth shut and gone with the flow. Instead, I now made my fiancé and her mom angry, which is a major mess up. I told them both off and went out to smoke. My fiancé says I ruined wedding planning and damaged her mom's relationship by being rude to her friend. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. But it seems your fiancé also agrees that you shouldn't have a say and just be the pocketbook. I would talk with her and say exactly what you feel. And if she continues to downplay or show you that she doesn't want your input on the wedding, tell her in no uncertain terms that there will be no wedding. If I don't get a say and respect in this, there will not be a wedding. This is my celebration as well, and I have a voice and deserve to be heard. If they can't agree about a wedding, have they discussed children? Any? How many? How they will be raised? How about finances? Where they want to live? What type of home? And so many other things. In the whole scheme of things, a wedding is such a small portion of their life. And if his future wife dismissed his opinions and feelings on his wedding too, will she do the same for the rest of their lives together, or will he always be the pocketbook? If these questions have not yet been discussed and agreed on, then the whole wedding planning needs to be put on hold. Marriage is a partnership, and their wedding should be a celebration for their union, not a source of a major conflict between them. They need to discuss everything and go forward together as equal partners, or this marriage is doomed to fail before it even begins. Not today, Hall. Don't worry, the mother-in-law and wife will make all the decisions. Not today, Hall. Honestly, get out now. Why would you make yourself miserable for as long as this marriage is going to last? And if you have kids, you will be dealing with this for the rest of your life. You deserve better than this. Not today, Hall. It's not just your fiancé's wedding. It's your wedding too. The fact that they tried to do things without you isn't fair to you. I think y'all should hire a wedding planner that will talk to you both and not just one or the other. Why even let him come with you to the meeting? Did they just want a free ride? Not today, Hall. Plus getting major red flag vibes from both the fiancé and future mother-in-law. When my wife and I were planning out our wedding, we used a similar concept to baby naming, the 2 yes, 1 no philosophy. Both had to agree to any major aspects, but only one no was required to veto something. Yes, we butted heads a few times. Who doesn't? But ultimately, it was a lovely and very memorable day. Not today, Hall. So why are you two getting married? Because you're surrounded by a-holes. I'd get my ring back, walk out the door, and keep going. Agreed. Does he think this behavior is gonna stop with the wedding? Wait for the kids thing, and why aren't you having more kids thing? Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for paying off my fiancé's student loan debt but not my sister's? Didn't realize this would become an issue until it was. So I, 28 male, have been with my fiancé, 29 female, since we were in high school, almost 12 years. She has been my rock, and I wouldn't be there where I am today if it wasn't for her. She was with me through my drinking problem despite the messed up things I did, and basically being a lost cause. Then supported me while I tried to get sober. When I went back to school, she kicked my butt into gear to get my bachelor's. Now I'm working a full-time office job and earn the type of living I never thought I would. I really wouldn't have made it where I am if it hadn't been for her unwavering support. I made an investment in an old property a buddy of mine owned that we fixed up and earned a decent profit off it. So just to finally give her a really big thanks for always being my biggest supporter, I decided to surprise my fiancé and gave her the amount she needs to pay off what she owes. She was really happy and relieved over it. And honestly, I was glad to be doing something huge for her. She made a sweet post about it on Facebook, and that's how my sister found out. She even commented, "Wow, didn't think of your own sister, brother?" My fiancé showed me the comment, and we both thought she was joking around. A few weeks later, she comes by our place. Turns out she was in fact bothered by the whole thing. Yes, in the past she's talked about how much of a struggle it is sometimes keeping up with bills. And so to her, it would have been nice to be thought of too, since she has her own student loans to pay off. It turned into a whole thing with her, and I'm unsure if I'm the a-hole. Because honestly, she didn't cross my mind at all when I decided on doing it, despite the fact that she has brought it up in the past. My fiancé has paid off what she owes already, so it's not like we can split it and give my sister a cut as well. The amount left was put into our baby fund. So she's even more mad that I just didn't think about her at all when it came to my gift. She thinks I was thoughtless and simply didn't care to do her this favor, so that's why she thinks I was a a-hole brother. I just wanted to check in here to ask if she's right. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's your money and no one else can tell you what to do with it. I honestly find it pretty bizarre that she would expect you to pay for that. You're not her parent. Also, it's a gift. Opie gets to decide to whom he wants to give a gift and to whom not. She can't/shouldn't demand gifts from anyone. It's a very entitled reaction. If you have to ask for something, then it ceases to be a gift. It becomes a demand. It's also his fiancé. They're about to combine their wealth and debts. It's almost paying off his own debt. Not a-hole. Your fiancé got you through a really rough time. Neither of you having debt is good for your financial future as a couple. Money your fiancé earns can now be focused on spending for things like a place to live, retirement savings, children, etc. Your sister is not entitled to your money. I'd add to this list. Living debt-free for a time enables you to help friends and family later, if you so choose, without negatively impacting your own momentum. Not a-hole. Is your sister serious? Your fiancé has been with you through thick and thin, supported you through hard times and got yourself up. And now look at yourself. Congratulations. You did work too, and you can spend your money any way you see fit. You don't owe your sister a dime. She can work and pay off her student loans herself. Marry that fiancé ASAP. She's the one. Not a-hole. Info. Do your sister and fiancé get along? If they don't, maybe it's a jealousy issue. You are starting a life with your fiancé. Her debts would become your debt. It's way better investment for all of you to pay off debt that is going to affect both of you in the long run. They've never had any issues and get along fine. Honestly, that didn't come to mind when I thought of the gift, but good point. It'll still be a while until we're actually married.